every single person has faced this exact moment. A moment where you stare into your own eyes and just analyze your face. Some days you may feel good about yourself, you may feel attractive. But other days you wake up and just... But regardless of how you feel, the next step is basically identical. You have to sift through dozens of decisions to decide what impression you want to make that day. Previously in episode 1, we discussed why being attractive matters. The sobering reality is that how we perceive someone else impacts how we treat that person.
If you had to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10,
The next question is, where do we go to improve our attractiveness?
what would you say?
Well, we don't have to go far. The answer isn't hard to find. It's the opposite. We are bombarded with hundreds to thousands of options every day with products and services that claim they can improve our looks.
But if you call now, within the next 20 minutes, because we can't do this all day, we'll give you a second set absolutely free.
Consumerism in the 21st century is a problem. A constant cycle of buying items, but simultaneously learning that there can be more to buy. So in this episode, not only do we want to paint the picture of consumerism in 2024, but we break it down psychologically to help you make this mess of decisions a bit more clear. And in my own journey to becoming more attractive, I feed into the consumerism and sign up for color analysis, a growing trend to see if this beauty practice is actually valid and who it's really for. All while telling you the story of why this journey to becoming more attractive has hit a little too close to home. It was one of those things that felt so good, and in just 4 short days, it seemed like everything just went wrong. Without further ado, welcome to episode 2 of How to Become More Attractive Scientifically. Yo, what's going on?
Oh, finally one child is home.
Yeah. This is my mom, everyone. Mom, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to my childhood bedroom. And behind us, we have what?
We have your closet.
My closet. Basically, this is all the clothing that I've had growing up in middle school and high school. You've bought all my clothing, basically, growing up.
Pretty much. And even now I buy stuff for you too.
Whoa. Cut that. Let's start with these. What are those? I'm fortunate that growing up, I never had an obsession over makeup. Shorts that I wore growing up. But I did have an obsession with brands. I mean, come on. What you wore dictated how cool you were. You walk into school with the $16 Nike Elite socks, and it felt like you were on top of the world. How much do you think these costed, if you remember, back in the day?
If I remember, maybe like $8, $10, I don't know.
That's good. But I wouldn't know. That sort of stuff was never in my household. How much do you think price influenced the clothes you bought me growing up?
Price influence a little bit, but the quality and the...
No, it didn't. You're lying to me. You're trying to put up a show on camera. Price was everything. Now, my mom and I are laughing right now, but rewind the tapes 10 years ago, and I would despise her for buying me the cheap, unbranded stuff. It was embarrassing. Alex's mom wouldn't think twice. Just spend a couple extra dollars, Mom. What was the big deal? I mean, what? I think growing up, how much of my stuff was from Costco?
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, we bought a lot of stuff from Costco.
So growing up, did you ever care about what brands you were wearing or anything?
Growing up, like
In India?
In India, no. My parents would go buy a nice fabric, and they would go to a tailor and made a tailor-made dress for us.
Like there was no Nike, like these things?
No.
Now looking back, it's ridiculous. The extent I would go to make my mom feel guilty for not getting me these things. Wow, $30 for a jacket? That poor woman didn't even understand what that swoosh meant. Oh, it's buttoned down too. You know what? These are nice.
You like the button ones?
Yeah, this is a nice thing. Might be changing my mind.
It really looks good.
Now let's be clear. I don't make my mom get anything for me anymore.
You see that?
But I would be lying to you if I said that I'm completely brand agnostic today.
Actually, this is crazy that this is $16. This is actually a steal.
Huh?
I think this is a steal.
Right, yeah.
Put W's like this.
Like this? Oh.
W's.
Mm-hmm.
W mom.
W mom.
W mom.
What's a W mom?
In fact, the one company that still has a chokehold on me is Lululemon.
So how much do you spend for a pant at Lululemon?
And maybe it's because in high school and college, that was the top dog brand. And again, there was no shot in hell my parents would ever get me that stuff.
This
Take a
one?
guess.
79?
$250.
What? See,
is the stuff.
very similar one.
Yeah.
At Costco is like $20.
Yeah.
Today, almost everything I own is Lululemon.
So what about 3-pack of underwear?
3-pack of underwears, $45, $55? No, maybe more.
$98.
$98? Wow.
Maybe it was an overcorrection of that insecurity I had grown up. But a $98 3-pack of underwear, I've got 9.
It's weird. I don't feel like to get anything because we just got stuff, you know? It's funny. Like this feels just as quality as any of this.
I love this company, and I'm sure I can make an argument that the quality is better and all, but coming home and going shopping with my mom for the first time in almost 6 years did open my eyes a bit. Why am I spending so much more money for basically just a logo? To many, money is just a tool to transact for items. However, it can be used as a tool to show the bigger picture. Where people spend their hard-earned dollars can show a lot about their priorities, so let's follow the money. Consumerism as we know it today really took off at the end of World War II. As the American economy boomed, so did production, which reached an all-time high. And with 5 million more American women entering the workforce, there was a lot more economic independence. People could spend more on things that they wanted to buy. And the beauty industry saw this as a goldmine. They invested more in products, options, colors, all that jazz. And advertising especially ramped up to sell to these new working women.
That there is no woman in the world who can't be made to look more beautiful.
According to Kathy Pice, by 1948, 80 to 90% of adult American women wore lipstick, about 2/3 wore rouge, and 1 in 4 wore eye makeup. And by 1950, modern branding as we know it today was born. Companies started to realize that with a flood of similar products all entering the market at the same time, they needed to find a way to differentiate themselves. So they pivoted to emotional messaging. Marketers needed to find a way to create a stronger bond between the consumers and the products.
Shoes by Jordan, hair by Silkians, because you were meant for the finer things in life.
And so branding went from informational to more intimate, which made consumers spend their money on items for their logos and brands more than the product itself. Which leads us to today, where there's more products than ever. The beauty industry specifically continues to grow as more developing countries become wealthier. Whether it's makeup, handbags, shoes, jewelry, services, or whatever, we are all bombarded with options that claim to make us more attractive. And it's a lot, so how do we decide what to buy and what not to buy? To understand this, we need to see through the fog. We need to lift the veil and check under the hood.
Hello, how are you? What a beautiful spot. It's so cool, absolutely.
I love that you're here. I saw your videos. Good to meet you in person.
Thank you so much. I know.
What is your name and what would you say your job is?
My name is Lizzie. My job is colorist or personal color consultant.
How would you describe color analysis for anyone who's never heard of it?
Color analysis will be to find the color that's more harmonious, flattering, easy for you to wear without makeup, without too much effort. Based on your skin color, hair color, and eye color.
In 1961, Johannes Itten, a Swiss painter and teacher, published a book called The Art of Color. It showed how certain color palettes complemented people based on their skin tones and hair colors. And so began what we call personal color analysis.
I'm going to help you find a more beautiful you.
This practice was then further popularized by Carol Jackson and Bernice Kempner in the late 1970s with their best-selling Color Season books. However, by the 1990s, it lost its popularity and almost died out. But fast forward to 2022 and the practice exploded. TikTok being a main reason for this massive wave of new interest, especially in South Korea. So much so that this has fueled a huge tourism boom that the Korean Tourism Organization has capitalized on to promote international visits.
Are you familiar with these terms?
In simple terms, there are 4 factors that can change your appearance. First, your undertone, basically the pigment under your layer of skin that everyone has. People are either generally warm-toned or cool-toned.
Maybe you just look good in any red.
Then, Lizzie will consider how the hue, saturation, and values of different colors she will drape on me affects my appearance.
Is there a science to how you choose the colors when it comes to people?
We definitely measure your skin tone to see if you have more redness versus yellowness. Some people are just born with lots of pigment. Some people are like paper. They just soak up the color and then they cannot use too many colors because of that. I'm not sure if I would call it science, but we do have steps in finding colors.
So wearing colors that don't work with you can make you look
older, sick.
More sickly. It
Yes.
sounds like just like pretty all-around negative traits.
Yes.
And wearing the right colors can accentuate the features that make you look better.
I actually have a lot of recent law school graduates come because they are younger and they want to be taken more seriously at work because they're working with older men. So they ask me which are the colors that make me look more charismatic, more assertive, more experienced.
That to me is also fascinating, how different colors can change that first impression you may have when you walk into a room.
Yes.
Right, that's so interesting.
Look at these 3 ads. What do you see in common? All of them phrase their product as a solution to an issue that you may have. They're all addressing some sort of negative situation. Psychologically, this has proven to be quite effective due to a concept called loss aversion. Humans feel the pain of losing something way more impactfully than the pleasure of gaining something of the same value. The easiest way for me to understand this is from a marketing POV. So instead of saying, save $50 on something, you might be better off saying, don't miss out on this $50 saving. Or in the beauty world, instead of saying your face wash will make your skin clear, you might be better off saying this face wash will take out that dirty skin and that excess oil. And the data doesn't lie. In the US, 58% of girls aged 8 to 18 wear makeup, and 65% of them started between the ages 8 to 13. Makeup is often presented as a solution for imperfections. You have a problem with your body? Well, here's a fix. And this isn't just affecting young girls, but us in our 20s as well. The study found that 72% of surgeons have seen an increase in patients under 30 who want cosmetic surgeries to look better for selfies. People feel the need to buy something when they're reminded of their flaws. It's an easy coping mechanism to get over an insecurity.
Example, so Tejas, this is a time for, I guess, a quiz. Can you tell which one makes her features stand out more?
I feel the one with the black hair.
Yes.
I feel like makes her skin more clear, like that. Like her hair is kind of combining with the color of her skin.
Yes, yes. Oh.
Is that true?
Yes. So in personal color, we want to find the color that's making you look beautiful, but also something that's not going to be overpowering. On the left side, she has beautiful hair, but people notice her hair before they notice her face. What about this one?
Oh. On the left, I think I noticed the hair first before noticing the features versus the right. It's just, I think what you said is more naturally
Yes.
put together, harmonious, right?
Yes. Here, he is glowing. Here, if you see, his face is a little bit green.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. And is that because like the hair is almost casting that color onto his face?
Yes, so he needs lower saturation. Here he is overpowered, so the yellow is kind of reflecting onto his face. Beauty is subjective, but I don't think in any culture that people will think that is more healthier or flattering on him because he looks a little bit sick. And then the last one is here.
Taylor Swift.
What do you think?
The right side.
Tejas, can you tell why?
Like if we're looking at her face, I think it's more, everything is like symmetrical and proportional in a way that's more attractive.
Yes,
Correct?
yes, you did good.
Great.
And then a lot of people use that term washed out.
Okay.
So here she looks a little bit pale, washed out, not enough color. It's like she donated way too much blood. So this is more healthier look here, not as.
I'd love to figure out my colors and who I am. So excited.
I am excited too. So Tejas, you can now sit in the chair right there.
Perfect. Now, I'm in no position to tell you which skincare products work or what makeup is actually effective. There's real professionals out there for those things. But what I will say is that there's no secret that companies may create or amplify problems and then sell you the solution in a magical bottle. In fact, it's a marketing technique called problem amplification. A classic example of this in the beauty industry is amplifying the problem of wrinkles and then selling you anti-wrinkle cream. The amount of ads that create this strong targeted messaging about sagging skin and the loss of elasticity reinforces this idea that aging skin is a problem that needs fixing. What does this one do?
This has like these discs.
Diminish the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles? Mm-hmm. Are you concerned of fine lines and wrinkles?
Yeah, as you get older, you're a little concerned. Not concerned, but you know.
Okay. In fact, the US anti-wrinkle products market is looking to grow 10% year over year over the next decade. My sister used to work at Ulta Beauty and would tell me to buy all of these products to make my skin look better because my process is using a soap, a lotion, and sometimes a sunscreen. And I'm sure all of these products are effective. They probably all do something. But I'm someone who's lucky enough to where my simple 3-step process hasn't really failed me thus far. So the question is, do I need to spend the extra $50 on eye masks and serums and all that jazz?
Okay, so Tejas, what I am going to do is start with the cool and then warm. So this is cooler, pale pink, and then this is warmer, salmon pink.
And what should I be looking out for?
Just overall, sometimes when people don't see too much difference, I tell them to maybe look at their skin color only or the under eye only. And then sometimes your lip color is also easy thing to see. So here is pale pink, salmon pink. Tejas, do you have a preferred look? Because they are definitely doing different things,
I was gonna say,
right?
it feels like something different's happening,
Yes.
but I can't tell what's happening.
What I see is with this one, your skin is a lot more brighter. So this now comes down to certain preferred image or look that you have. So here definitely brighter. Here I am seeing a little more of the yellowness being added. You look a little more tanned. Compared to here, it's more brighter.
Yeah, you can almost like see the color reflecting onto like my cheeks.
So the step is actually more thorough than people think. So here is low saturation, here is medium saturation. So Tejas, now I would say with this, your hair looks darker, your face looks lighter, so it's creating higher contrast, which is making you look sharper. You look more defined, more charismatic. Here, you're looking more younger because your hair is looking lighter, face shape is becoming smoother.
I can tell that this is bringing more contrast into everything.
Here, lower contrast.
Yeah. Whoa, what is this?
Measuring your skin. So this is, A number is redness, B number is yellowness. So you do have more yellowness than the redness, and then brightness is 46. And then, let me see, this side. So here also brightness is 48. So you are somehow getting a little more sunlight on the left side of your face.
Okay.
It's not noticeable with human eyes, but digitalizer is picking it up. So you definitely have a lot more yellow color than red color.
Lizzie and I went through many different hues, saturations, values, patterns. I mean, this consultation was definitely in depth. And to be honest, I was shocked with how some comparisons did change my overall impression. The clearest example was with how colors affected the shadow under my jawline. A lighter color tended to make my jawline brighter, which decreased shadows, hence making me look a bit younger. The opposite was also true. Darker colors created more contrast and a sharper, more mature look. Some other comparisons were a lot more difficult to see. For me, it was 50-50. Regardless, one thing I did appreciate about Lizzie is she never just said a color looked good or was the best. It always had some sort of specific reasoning.
So instead of telling, oh, you look definitely best here, I tell you, oh, this one is making you look sharper, this one's making you look younger, softer.
And I really appreciate that one. That's like a objective, right? Younger, right? Instead of better. It can feel like there's an unlimited amount of products and services out there that all claim to help fix your problems. So let's ask the question again. How are you supposed to navigate through this world of consumerism? So a couple weeks ago, I went to this dinner and there were 3 girls there, and the topic of fashion came about, specifically the red flags in men's fashion. Now, if you couldn't tell, my outfits are quite simple. I've got like 5 shirts and 4 pants on rotation, maybe a couple fancy items here and there, but by no means am I a fashionista. So inevitably, I was an easy target to pick on, and these girls tried to convince me to go out and buy fancier clothes and whatnot. All things that would objectively make me look better, I'm not gonna lie. And it was this interesting moment because if the person I was a year or 2 ago sat down at that dinner, a more insecure version of myself, that person may have actually considered changing up their entire wardrobe. Like, it's pretty embarrassing when 3 girls at a dinner come up to you and start making fun of your oversized flannel and joggers, you know? But today, those conversations don't affect me too much, and it's actually because I remembered an economics lesson I took 6 years ago. The Chanel handbag, Nike logo on your white shirt, the anti-wrinkle cream, the fancy pants, eye masks, Lululemon, all that jazz will make you look and feel better. That's a fact. That's why we're drawn to buy those things. However, the degree to how much those things are gonna look and make you feel better is what changes. And in economics, there's something called the law of diminishing marginal utility. On the x-axis, we have the number of fancy, cool items you can buy. And on the y-axis, we have units of happiness. Basically, the more you have, the more happy you are. When you're an insecure little middle school boy and your mom buys you your first pair of Nike shoes, something you've wished to have for such a long time, that's gonna make your happiness go up tremendously. And the same may be for the first fancy handbag you buy or that luxury treatment you've been wanting. But the second and third time you buy those things, you're incrementally getting less and less happy. If you have 10 pairs of Nike shoes, then the 11th one isn't gonna make you that much more happy. So at some point, there's gonna be a limit to where it's not worth it to buy that next item anymore. The amount something costs is gonna become too high for the amount of happiness it'll bring you. And defining where this line is on your own personal graph is the journey you must take to escape this consumerism trap. When I think about the suggestions those girls made, they're probably right. A tailored jean jacket over a nice sweater over some fitted pants will make me look better. But right now, I'm confident in the person I am with the simple wardrobe I have. A lot of consumerism today is driven to make you think that just buying one more item is gonna bring you this much more happiness, when in reality, it's only gonna bring you this much. And this point, your not worth it anymore limit is going to be different for everyone and their own individual situation. But going on that journey to define this and being confident in this line is something that everyone should do. So just remember, a lot of marketing today is about regulating your emotions. So the goal is to regulate them. Wow.
So everything here is spring.
Yeah.
So this is spring bright, this is spring warm, this is spring light. Up to here you can definitely do. But as I go to here, now it's pulling out a little bit of the discoloration, and then people start seeing the color before they see you.
Yeah.
So somewhere like right here.
Okay.
So you are going to be spring light leaning into spring warm.
So appreciate it.
We'll keep you updated.
Sounds
And thank you for your
good.
support. Absolutely. Thank you.
Nice meeting
Thank you, you too, you too. Immediate reaction?
Spring warm, baby. Spring warm. Don't look at me the same. Once I get my whole wardrobe spring warm, it's over for y'all. I'm gonna be the most attractive man in New York City.
So I walked into color analysis with a skeptical eye. One where I thought that the practice was some sort of pseudoscience and didn't think there was any sort of legitimacy to if colors could affect the way you looked, your impression, your appearance. But to be honest with you, that opinion of mine did change. Honestly, the way Lizzie talked about how certain colors changed my appearance, whether it brought out the more positive traits or took out some of the negative traits, I actually saw. And I am convinced that colors do play a role in how attractive you think you are. But that's not the question. The question is, was this service worth it? So when I consider my handy law of diminishing marginal utility graph, color analysis lands somewhere right here for me. It did bring me happiness, and the service is legitimate. But for me, is it worth it? As someone who's not into fashion that much, no. And honestly, Lizzie herself said something like this.
You have a lot of female clients come
Yeah.
because they're interested in spring on makeup, like finding
Yeah.
the right shade of lipstick.
Totally.
For men, it's a little bit limited into
Okay.
like clothing unless you like
Yeah.
putting on lip colors.
Okay. And again, maybe your line of is it worth it is over here. Maybe fashion plays a larger role in your life. And if so, I do highly recommend Lizzie and Seklab in New York City.
Do you believe in coincidence? I don't know, but sometimes I feel like there's a higher power that wants me to live through some lessons that just line up too perfectly. In the middle of making this docu-series, I got my heart broken. What was one of the best times that I had in a really long time slowly became one of the most anxious times because I couldn't figure out what happened. It was one of those things that felt so good, and in just 4 short days, it seemed like everything just crumbled.
Commence. It's supposed to be so serious.
We're getting serious.
We're getting serious. JC's back.
We're here.
All right, I want to make sure this doesn't feel so intense. JC, thank you.
You're so welcome. I am here again for your dating qualms.
That's crazy. Okay. Let's get into this.
The pain on your face.
Like, I'd never thought in my life that, like, I was making videos about, like, cryptocurrency 3 years ago, and, like, here we are.
Here we are.
But I remember that night so vividly being, like, such an unlock of, like, it was just a moment of growth. I always think, like, I want my videos to be, like, what would 18-year-old Tejas see, and, like, how much could he grow from just watching the videos. Two weeks ago, I remember I was watching Good Will Hunting right over here after a pretty messy week. What's up, Curly Pop? Let me tell you a story. So I called JC 2 weeks ago. Let me jump back. I'm nervous.
I can't.
Why?
I remember I was teaching a yoga class. I get out of my class and I see a 911 text from Tejas that says, "Are you free? I need to talk," which I know is never good.
Hi.
Hi.
One time.
The first 30 minutes of the call were basically going over why you had been MIA for the entire month of June, which, if I know you, means that you have fallen deeply in love with a girl.
I'm kind of like that way too.
You were describing this euphoric puppy love almost that I see where you talk about where everything is perfect and you go all in on this person and create this firework of emotion. And you're just describing how this one felt so different, and you so love, and you experience such a depth with this person. And the thing about you is that when you meet someone, you go all in on them. I have heard you go through more depth in a relationship with a person in like 1 month than people have in 10 years because of this vortex of love that you create. I know you enough that when you get into these moments with someone, you just become absolutely obsessed with them.
Hey, everything good?
Then I remember you describing how in just 4 days, I think you were saying on Wednesday, it was amazing, and then by Sunday, everything kind of started to fall apart. And I could hear just this confusion in your voice of trying to understand how it could have gone from such euphoria to basically crumbling in the span of less than a week.
Why do I have to be rowing also?
Your conversation started feeling more distant, and you started feeling like your body language was different, and you just felt like there was this barrier between you that you couldn't really understand why it was happening. Just listening to you talk, I heard so many things of you being critical of what you did, and it was interesting to hear it from your point of view of like how much ownership you took on in the situation.
You sure?
Yes.